So, a very quick question. What are you curious about regarding my time in music school, especially at Juilliard? So, thank you to everyone who left replies. There's so many great questions here. I'm just going to do my best to pick a few and answer them to the best of my ability. The first one here, looking back, what level do you feel like you were at before versus after music school? There's so many ups and downs, it's really hard to answer, but I would say in general, even if certain areas of my playing did not improve after music school, I definitely gained some confidence after going through various degrees and different types of curriculum. I probably peaked purely in terms of a pianist my sophomore and junior years at Juilliard, which was a long time ago. So it's a little sad, but this is the honest truth. Ever since then, especially on a technical level, I have just been coasting along, if not declining slightly. But on the flip side of things, I think my overall musicianship level and definitely my ability to compose has been steadily increasing since then. So it's a complex answer. Did you do any jobs while studying? What was the first, best, worst? I did a lot of work study jobs. The first one was working in the mailroom. I also worked at a desk at the career development office, answering the phone. I worked as a pianist in the conducting class. I also taught secondary piano at Juilliard for non-majors. I definitely had private students around the city throughout all of the years, which was probably the worst and the best jobs that I had because I love teaching kids. But sometimes this would turn into a babysitting gig, which was, depending on the kid, really not my thing. So I would consider that best and worst. Is there anything you would do differently knowing what you know now? There's so many ways to answer this question, but the first thing that comes to mind is that I would not think too much about the favoritism I would see around the school, because just being older now and also having teaching experience myself, these things aren't really straightforward, and it's just part of human nature to respond differently to different types of personalities. So if I were to go back, I would just tell myself, don't think too much about this. Just because you feel like you're getting less attention than another student, it doesn't mean that the teacher thinks less of you or cares less about you. It's just about the chemistry between different personalities. Are there any lifelong friends you made whilst there that you still play with today? I definitely have many lifelong friends, so many close people around me that I met in school, and that's one of the most valuable things that I see about going to music school. Connections that you make, the friends, everything. That naturally occurs, especially when you work with someone in school, chamber ensembles, maybe roommates. And do I still play with them? Occasionally, yes. And I consider myself very lucky to be able to do so. For a majority of your classmates, do you think a degree there was worth the time and cost? This is so hard to answer because everyone's financial situation is very different. I've seen a lot of people deal with this in many different ways. Of course, taking out student loans was very common. Also, it was common to have a sponsor, patron, help from different grants, so many different resources that can help you pay tuition and live in the city. But yes, it's a struggle. Do I think it was worth it for a lot of people? Probably not, because honestly, I saw a lot of people drop out of school as well. For myself personally, I would not know how to answer that because going to music school is just ingrained into a part of my personal history. And I can't imagine what it would be like not having gone to music school. Did you experience any kind of destructive criticism or shaming by either the teacher or students? I remember a few instances where professors would criticize someone in front of everybody in class in a way that I just recognize as being very unpleasant and unnecessarily mean, like outright mean, calling someone just completely incompetent, you shouldn't be doing music, that sort of thing. And I just think that was awful. What were your goals when you were in school compared to now? I think a lot of my goals in school were related to what I was doing at the piano. Sometimes they were as straightforward as I want to get into this competition, or I want to win this competition. I want to learn this repertoire by, such and such year. I want to have a concert pianist career, that sort of thing. And now my goals are so different. I have more goals as a composer, different types of pieces that I want to write, different types of ensembles that I want to work with. Also, I have goals as an educator and a video creator, both on and off YouTube. And so I just realized that goals aren't a static thing. They're constantly shifting as we change. And I think that is normal. And the best thing to do is just to be in touch with what your goals are in the moment so that you can pursue them to the best of your ability.